Hi everyone, Susie here from Minnesota, and I garden in Zone 4, and I am out in my garden another day. It's quite dreary, it's a little breezy, so sorry about the sound quality. I'm going to attempt to work in this garden here. This is a difficult area to work in because I have to step in the garden. A lot of times I forget where I plant stuff until it comes up or I'm stepping on it. The other thing is I'm dealing with some other issues, which I will show you first, that it's going to be fun. But it's just basically cutting back. I didn't put any leaves on here. They just are laying where they fell in the fall. So not a whole lot of leaves in this area, but a lot of cut back. So I'll bring you in close to when I'm cutting back certain shrubs and perennials. Sorry about the sound quality again, that wind kicked up. But yeah, lots of stuff to do in this garden. This is the one that is my least favorite to work in because it's kind of tiptoeing through and not stepping on plants as I go along. But so I'm going to show you what I have to deal with, which I'm not looking forward to. So I'll bring you in closer. So the first thing that I did in here is I kind of decluttered it, so I'm not working around this stuff. Any pots in here, any garden art. There's some leaves in here, but it's more a lot of debris. I don't do any cutback in the fall, so this is when I do all of my cutback. But I have a rose in here, I have some peonies, this shrub here I have to figure out what I'm going to do with. It's Sorbaria, Sorbifolia. I mean, in my area it runs all over, but it did have some issues last year due to the drought. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet, so I'm debating. And then what my biggest issue in this garden is Creeping Jenny. It is all over in here. And usually I just plant Creeping Jenny in containers, but it rooted in this garden and it's taken over. And the thing is it is a nice ground cover. I can walk on it, but it's gonna start choking out other plants in here. So I'm just gonna attempt to pull it up and see what happens. I know pieces are gonna break off and it's gonna reroot, so definitely be careful when planting Creeping Jenny in your containers, just because the only way I plant it now is where there's cement, because it's not going to root into anything. I deal enough with invasive plants, but in perennials I should say, this is out of control. Like I said, it is pretty, don't get me wrong. I can dig some up, put it in some pots and have free plants, but at this point I'm just gonna get rid of it. So I'm gonna attempt to work in here. Hopefully I stay in view. Lots going on. I still can't believe how much has come up so far, but all right, let's get going. This perennial here that I'm going to be cutting back is Baptisia. And I mean, it's really cool because it gets these seed heads. Can you hear them shake? Oh, it looks like the seeds actually fell out of them. So I'm going to cut this all the way down to the ground. Hopefully I'm in view. There's such a glare on my phone. I'm not even sure what I'm doing, to tell you the truth, so hopefully you can see it. But yeah, this I'm just gonna cut all the way to the ground. This is definitely a plant that once you plant it, it takes a little bit for it to get established, and once it is established, it's hard to move. So make sure you plant it in a spot that it loves. It also needs staking. At least I kind of push the envelope with the full sun. I would say this probably gets part sun. It does better in full sun. So it requires a little bit more staking. It gets floppy, but still looks really good. And there is some growth. See, this is where I'm not sure how I'm going to get rid of this Creeping Jenny. I have no idea. It's not even something I want to put in my compost bins. It's just, it's really rooted in there. That's crazy. And the ground is so wet, so and it's not even, the creeping Jenny's not even pulling out easy. I bet if the ground was a little drier, it probably would, but okay, well, let's see what happens. I'm gonna get rid of this for now. To tell you the truth, I think it's going to be a long time before I plant creeping Jenny again. This one I'm cutting, you can see, these are tree roots. This is also a big tree root back here. This creeping Jenny is gonna I'm gonna bring you in for a closer look to show you the creeping Jenny issue. You can probably see it on film, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. So there's the new growth of the Baptisia. I absolutely love this perennial. It's just is so pretty. This is the purple variety, and it's a early bloomer. You can see that little bit of growth down there, and then I have, if I can show you, right down there. But yeah, this creeping Jenny is proving to be a huge issue. It just breaks off. I can't get the roots, so it's gonna be a problem, definitely. But I'm gonna get going on some other stuff and take you along with me. This next perennial I'm working with is Ligularia. It's so pretty because it has purple foliage. It also likes wetter conditions, so this is definitely one, if you have a dry area, you'll be watering it all the time. Britt Marie Crawford. So I think for now I'm not even gonna pull up the creeping Jenny until I get everything cut down and everything raked off, because then I'll work with pulling it up, because I'm gonna put it in the bin, because I don't want it to go in my compost bins, because I've been pulling it, but I'm gonna be raking it into the lawn, mulching it, and then yeah. So I'm just gonna leave the creeping Jenny for now. If I said creeping Jenny, yeah. I'll just kind of pull it away from my plants. careful because, like I said, I'm not quite sure where I have everything. I think it's just so neat when you start cutting back your perennials, especially in the spring. This is what I love, that you just uncover that new growth. Come on. I'm just kind of pulling the Creeping Jenny away from the plant so it doesn't think happy thoughts, right? There we go. I'm just putting it in a pot over here for the time being. I don't know. So a lot of my perennials tend to sink over time. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of put a little more soil around it. Not cover it completely, but just kind of. Yeah. This glove has a hole. I think I need some new gloves. Just kind of work it in there. It is a super cool plant. So I think when I'm done cleaning out this bed, I'll kind of take you in for a closer look to show you what things look like. But the new growth is this bright, kind of a purple mahogany color. Really neat. Okay, this rose here is an Oh So Easy paprika rose. It's a shrub rose. And that's mainly what I have in my gardens. They're kind of a no-brainer for me. And actually, my roses have done the best this year than they've ever done. Normally, I've cut it all the way back to the crown last year because there was no growth. There is some brown in here what I'm going to be cutting out, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut and not think about where I'm cutting, to tell you the truth. That's the way I do these shrub roses. I just have to be careful because it is prickly. And they usually go in their own little spot, so I don't gather it up with all my other stuff and forget that this is really thorny. Let's see, I'm gonna cut it back pretty hard. I'm just gonna. Like I said, I'm not worried about where I cut this because last year it was almost cut all the way to the ground. Ow. I don't have any gloves for roses. I should invest in some. I'm just gonna put that one there. I want to kind of create an open. Ouch. It doesn't get really big either. I want to say it might get 2 feet tall, if that. And again, I really push it with the full sun. I would say this is a part sun area. It blooms pretty good for me. And this is a very wet area too. Most of my gardens do not have the best drainage. So it's probably been here for 10 years. And it tolerates it. So I kind of like the shrub roses. I think I'm just going to prune this one right there. Normally I'm a little rougher with my plants, but because there's thorns, I don't want to get pricked. But yeah, so I do like the Oh So Easy roses, because hence the name. So that's how I prune my shrub roses. I could be doing it wrong, but at this point it works for me. The reason why I don't do a lot of cutback in the fall is because a lot of these plants are native to my area, and it just helps with the beneficial insects and for homes, and some of it offers food. So that's why I leave a lot in the fall. I know it's messy, I know there's a lot of work to do in the spring, but it gets cleaned up at some point is what I think. Would it be easier in the fall when everything is dead and you can just go in and hack it away instead of dealing with this new growth? Probably. But I also love to see this new growth come up. So right now I'm working with just the Autumn Joy sedums. Oh, we had a mild winter for Minnesota. And I can definitely see that in the growth of a lot of these plants. And some I think it's really good. Others I think it's going to be probably on the invasive part. So this right here, you can see that's a daffodil. I have no blooms. I got all this lush growth. And although I do have one, a spindly little one over here, which I'll show you. And I do have blooms on that. So I fail with daffodils. I have a clump of Autumn Joy here, 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 here. I'm not complaining because I love sedum. I usually don't use a kneeler. I just kneel right on the soil, but it is so wet that I'll have mud all over. Going to show you this real quick if you can see. So I've got all these stems here, and this whole area has primrose in it. I mean, and it's definitely an aggressive grower, but also easily maintained because it has a shallow root system. So I love it. It's absolutely gorgeous. But with all of these, basically I just break off. It's one of the easiest plants to take care of in my garden. Oh, the sun's coming out. It's been a while since the sun has been out. Oh, love it. Sometimes I just need to take a moment. And the other thing is not lose my pruners. Been looking for it a number of times now. So I cut the growth back as close as I can, but with the autumn joy, this foliage will definitely cover it. It's like 55 degrees today. It's absolutely beautiful for working out in the garden. A little chilly, but still, it's not raining, right? So this shrub here is Cerbaria sorbifolia sem, and I think it's called an ash leaf spirea, and it runs all over in my garden. I know other people have no issues. I'm not sure why it loves my garden so much, but I mean, it's beautiful. Look at that pink foliage, that new growth, and then it has white blossoms later on, nice and fuzzy. So I do like this shrub. It's just a little aggressive in my area. Last year I did have some dieback due to the kind of drought conditions that we were having. We were very dry, which is weird for Minnesota. But you can see it's also ran over here, or run over here, because this was the shrub here, and it's just kind of taken over. So this is going to get a very severe cutback. Usually only cut it back by about 1/3, but I'm just going to do it a little bit differently this year. And yeah, it is really pretty. I love that pink tinge. It does go away once it all flushes out, but like I said, the blossoms on it are white. Kind of reminds me of, I don't know, like a fuzzy astilbe kind of, but the bees love it. So I'm gonna get you set up somehow and get cracking on this beast. just did that. I don't know. There was just so much dead. There's stuff coming at the base. I might regret this decision later, but it's aggressive enough, I think. So like I said, I'm just giving the rest of this. So it gets really big. And right now it's out of control, and I'm kind of I can't believe I did that. I'm still nervous that I did the right thing. It's just, there was a lot of dead growth on it, a lot of growth at the tips and not much at the base. You can see there is growth down at the base there. So that was pretty severe. So I'm doing that because I have a lot in my garden, but maybe not do it quite as extreme as I did. Normally, like I said, I take it down by a third, kind of follow that shrub rule. But this one was just getting out of control. It wasn't looking the best, so I'm gonna call it a rejuvenation prune. I might take that down a little bit further than that. I do have a lot, so, and I do know how aggressive this is. I don't think it's gonna kill it. But yeah, that was a little extreme for me, but yeah, fingers crossed that it works out. So I just wanted to show you how I prune these clematis. Normally, either the winters in my area prunes it for me because the snow cover on it is just so much that it breaks it off, or the rabbits help me out. This is group 3 clematis, and like I said, normally it gets cut off at the base and then all the new growth flushes out at the bottom. So group 3 clematis blooms later in the season. They're smaller blooms, but they work for me because I know no matter what happens, even in like late winter, early spring, I will still get blooms later on. Whereas like your group 1 clematis, it blooms on old wood. So, but yeah, so I'm just gonna cut it where I see buds. I know it's gonna seem extreme, so I'm gonna leave I'm gonna try for about a foot of growth, but with these, I'm not concerned. And anywhere where there's not a lot of buds on, if you can see, there's buds down here. I'm just gonna, this seems extreme, but it works. if you can see, I'm just left with this much growth. And then I'm gonna have to clean the rest off of this trellis here. That's the hard part because it's all twiny. But yeah, so that is how I prune my group 3. I don't know how you guys prune yours, but like I said, normally I don't have to because of my area, but just wanted to show you. I'm gonna finish the cleanup and then I'm gonna take in for a little closer look. Okay, that took probably about 2 hours. I still have a lot to do. I got most of it cut back and I still had to put some of my stuff back. I'll show you the mess that I kind of created, and it'll work out. But yeah, some of that was a little extreme for me. Cutting back that shrub to that point, I don't know. I probably have dirt on my face. That even shocked me, but it's so aggressive. It was just a lot of dead in there, a lot of growth at the top. So we'll see how it works. I might have made a mistake or it might have worked out really good. And but like I said, I'm not worried about it dying because it's all over the place. It's even grown up in some of my little raised beds over there. Pruning the clematis to that point, it was also new for me because like I said, the rabbits either have done it or my winters have done it. So, but it's kind of nice because it's, like I said, we had a mild winter for Minnesota, so a lot of this stuff is doing really good. The Creeping Charlie has me, or not Creeping Charlie, the Creeping Jenny has me a little worried because it is all over the place, and I just left it alone. Anywhere that it was kind of crowding out a perennial, I just kind of yanked it out, pulled some away, and I put it in a pot for the time being, and I'll be getting rid of that. But at this point, I'm not going to worry about controlling it too much until I see, you know, where some of my perennials are coming up. I know I stepped on some, so I should put like little, you know, bamboo sticks in there just to kind of let me know where everything is. But for the most part, I'm really pleased. I have some daffodils that have 2 little buds, so I'm very happy with that. But I know this is probably going to be a longer video. There's a little bit more cut back on certain things, a little more variety than around my dog kennel. But so hopefully you found this a little relaxing, and I know there's leaf blowers and power tools going on too, so no, there's a lot more background noise, but it's also a Sunday, a lot of people doing stuff. It's turning out to be kind of a nice day. Cloudy now, but the sun came out for a little bit, so appreciated that. The birds are crazy, so I'll take you in for a closer look and show you the mess that I cleaned up and the mess that I created cleaning up the mess. Okay, so yes, I created more of a mess. That's okay, but this looks nice, and I'm not gonna say tidy, but just lots better. I'm not worried about the leaves that are on there. They will decompose. That's where the Creeping Jenny is going right now, and I will be putting that in the bin, not the compost bin, definitely not. I have to put some of my garden decor back. This is where I had the Creeping Jenny planted, and then it rooted down in there and it just took over. I won't be planting Creeping Jenny for a long time, even in my containers. Right now I'm a little bitter about it because I don't know how I'm gonna control it, to tell you the truth. Super happy about my rose here. That's really unbelievable growth there. My little rock pile. I might have an idea for something over here at some point, depending. I have lots of ideas, but do I have the time to get them all finished? And yeah, that was we'll see how that works out. I think it'll be okay. And over here, these are giant alliums, ornamental alliums coming up. They look really good. And then cleaned off my trellises here. I have more of a mess to clean up, but that's okay. This makes me happy. This is the tougher garden to get into because I know where some of the plants are, but I know I stepped on a lot too. That's okay. I think they're pretty tough. They'll bounce back. The peony is down here. Love this peony. It's a single petal peony. Absolutely love it. And then I wanted to show you the color of the Ligularia, the new growth. If you can see in there, that purple color. Yeah, this all was not just from this garden over here. It was also from my dog kennel. I'm just letting the leaves dry out a little bit before attempting to take my lawnmower to it and mulch it up, which I'm not looking forward to. I have a feeling it's going to clog up a lot. And that's a messy job there, but I got to about the birdhouse here. I need to get my birdhouses cleaned out too, but I have all of this still to do, along with over there, and then my front garden beds. These will be a lot easier, way easier. This is always the one that I don't really look forward to cleaning out, just because there's so much going on in here. But yeah, so hopefully, I know this got a little bit long. I was trying to keep it shorter, but I just kind of wanted to show you everything that I do. Not the mulching with the lawnmower, that's tedious. So yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed me and my garden, and bye for now.